Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. So, Man United finished fourth last weekend, but we don't celebrate fourth places here. So, we do celebrate title wins though, and we have to say congratulations to Sporting Lisbon for winning their 19th Portuguese league title. Just after 19 years, yes, is that what we're doing? Oh no, we're not doing that one. We're just kidding. We're actually congratulating Manchester City for winning the Premier League title, thanks to United losing to Leicester City, which is quite apropos for the season that we've had. But we've got City fan Adarsh here with us, who's obviously very, very happy and sporting his Manchester City jersey. So welcome, Adarsh. It's been a while to have you, but it's good to have you back on the show.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's nice to meet you guys again, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, well, we expect more enthusiasm, but yes, that's great. Thank you, Adarsh, for that jolt of enthusiasm. And we've got Nishikant, who's now pretty much regular on these shows. I think it was maybe a third or fourth straight show, I think, that you are on this one. But welcome back again. And we've got Abhijit, I think it's his first time on this show. So welcome, Abhijit.
Yeah, it's my first time.
Yeah. Abhijit, you're a United fan?
Yeah, United fan.
Yeah, we've got United, we got Chelsea, and we've got Manchester City. So yes, let's all first begin in congratulating Manchester City. Definitely a wonderful achievement. Adarsh, how are you feeling?
I mean, I'm on the top of the world at the moment, just like every other Manchester City fan, and like winning back-to-back titles and
Top of whom,
trophies
sorry?
every season. Huh?
Top of whom?
Top of the world, he feels top of the
Top
world.
of the world at the moment. All right. And like winning 3 titles in 4 years is something what even we were not expecting from Pep. But he is delivering us title. He is delivering us trophies. He is building up momentum for the club. I mean, that's just what the fans expected him, and that's what the board even expected out of him. And he is delivering every bit of it. And yeah, we are in the Champions League final. Hope we are going to clinch it as well. And let's see how it goes again.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting accomplishment. Nishi, how much is it? I mean, I know we don't want to put a dampener on things, but I always ask this question: how much is it City winning, and how much is it other teams basically, not putting up a fight and pretty much falling away? Because I mean, at the start of the season, I thought Liverpool were going to run away with it. Then I was guilty as many others for believing in some way that maybe Tottenham could somehow steal it. That was obviously foolish in hindsight. And then of course Chelsea spent a lot of money, and we thought maybe Chelsea could compete, and that didn't happen. So I mean, there's different contenders, but ultimately City are the most consistent, and they won it. So, but is there perhaps a feeling at regret that other teams maybe could have challenged more?
Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say that other teams let City win. Uh, Obviously, if Liverpool were probably performing the same way like how they did last season, it would not have been. They would have retained the title because City had a very bad start. Right? They were. I think not even in top six in December. I think.
Yeah.
We were not in the top flight of the table.
They went to 13.
Yeah.
But
They were ninth, I guess. They were ninth.
Okay, yeah.
After that,
yeah,
West Brom broke.
No,
yeah,
they were 13,
something
but
like
they had a
after
game
West.
in hand. They had a game in
Yeah.
hand, so with that they could have been, yeah. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit, it's good.
But since in January they defeated Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and from there onwards they just looked like a different team. So from January onwards, I think they did everything they should have done to be at the top of the table, and they thoroughly deserved it. But yeah, there's definitely an argument that other teams did not perform well. When I say other teams, I predominantly mean Liverpool. I didn't expect Chelsea to compete for title on this season. Didn't expect Manchester United to compete for title either. Never expect Tottenham to compete for anything. So they were never in consideration for me, to be honest. But yeah, well deserved for me. I mean, the way they have the way Guardiola has, from what I see, he has evolved tactically this season. He made changes. Unlike managers like Mourinho or Wenger, who have a plan and have a way of playing things, and they don't want to change. They're stuck in that mentality. Guardiola made little changes, and he's reaping benefits of that. So well deserved. Kudos to Manchester City.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here's an interesting stat, by the way, that I found is that this season, every team, assuming Liverpool win their game in hand, this season, every team will have finished one place higher than they did last season. The only team, and that is at the expense of Liverpool. So City will finish first, United will finish second, Leicester will finish third, Chelsea might finish third, Leicester might finish fourth. There's a little bit there, but it could happen, and Liverpool finish fifth. So it's interesting how everybody takes the place of Liverpool. I don't know. That's a very interesting stat. But Abhijit, I mean, Nishikant obviously gives a lot of credit to Guardiola, and obviously that's a big part. But I mean, what are the top players for you for City at the for this season? I mean, there's a lot of top performers, obviously, but in your opinion, who's been the standout for City this season?
Yeah, obviously, like we have to choose a name, one name. It has to be Ruben Diaz because he completed his on form. But I think the biggest benefit which City got after that draw with West Brom in December, if you can remember, they drew 1-1, which was I think Bilic's last game as manager. Yeah. I think Guardiola got a reality check for the next. I think the Manchester derby was next, and he got a reality check that playing one person holding the midfield is not going to help. United is going to run against them every time. So he started playing two with both Gundogan and Rodrigo, or maybe two pivot. The two pivot thing changed. The defense stabilized, and after that, they never looked like they will concede. I think till the Chelsea game, when in the 93rd minute, I think Cho scored. For 6 or 7 games, they didn't even let anyone score against them. Obviously, the defense was grim, but it was an overall defensive, not just Ruben Dias and John Stone, but overall the defensive game in case because after playing that two pivot, and after that, obviously Kevin got injured and then he came back. Hopefully, good for them. It wasn't a big injury, and United lost Pogba, so the United dropped quite few points, and City ran away with it basically. So, but I would still say that the two pivot formation changed the whole season for City this time.
Yeah, the double pivot, even I noticed that as well. I think it was the first time he used it was against United when they drew 0-0.
Yeah, United, the 0-0 draw. Because I think if you saw United would basically run against City. Means Etihad away was a home game for United every time. Yeah. They would play on the counter attack and just run away with it. So the two pivot changed, and then after that they have kept improving on it.
Absolutely. Nishikant, I mean, obviously Abhijit said Ruben Diaz, but can a case be made to say that City's player of the season is not Ruben Diaz, but is actually Jordan Pickford?
That's a very I think that's a valid point. I think Adarsh and other fans should definitely probably send a cake to
maybe a statue of Jordan Pickford outside the Etihad. Maybe they need that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You build statues for anything these days. No. But Adarsh, I mean, we have. We'll talk about Liverpool later on. I think we'll make this about City. We won't talk about Liverpool. But I do want to say thank you to City because actually, you know what? I had to thank myself because I kept going on this show and jinxing Liverpool. It finally worked. They didn't win the title. I think most people didn't want Liverpool to win the title. But I mean, Adarsh, where do you rank Guardiola? As you said, Guardiola has won 3 Premier League titles. Where do you rank this one and those 3 league titles? Where do you think this one ranks among those 3?
Every title which Guardiola won was different. Like one was Centurion, the other was 98 points, just a point ahead of Liverpool. That was something different as well. And this one is different as well because Guardiola had the worst start of a managerial career with City this season. Even City had the worst start since 2008 or something. So, and coming back from the 12th in the league, then 8th, then 7th, then 6th, and then climbing to the top and staying at the top is something which is different, and we haven't seen in some time. The last time I remember City doing that was in 2012, just behind United, and then even winning the title as well. And this time it was different, yes, and it was more challenging because we were there in every competition. We are there in Champions League as well. First time playing the final and keeping up with the stamina. The other thing, Guardiola was always quite stubborn with was the rotation of the players. He usually doesn't used to rotate players, but this season you can see the B team of Manchester City. But the last season or the seasons before, we were not seeing that. Yeah. It was just an A team which was continuously playing. Whether they play good or bad, it's just the form or the run of the players basically. But yeah, there was technical changes from Guardiola. They were acceptable. Players were happy in it, and they were performing as well, and that too without a striker. And that is something which is like quite amazing, because no other team I see like finishing at this, winning a league, winning a domestic trophy, and even Champions League final without a striker. Hardly any team does that. So that's a big and a different achievement for us overall. So yeah.
Well, on this count, Chelsea won the Champions League with 10 defenders and a striker. So sometimes just one striker is all you need. I just. All right, Abhijit. I think we'll try to get into some individual players now, and I think let's start with one player who's impressed me a lot is actually this one, Phil Foden. Phil Foden is someone that I've been very impressed. I watch him I watched him when he made his debut in the preseason friendly against United. I saw him, and I thought he was going to be something special. I think he is going to be something special, but he just looks. It's just like any stage that you put him on, he just doesn't look like he cares. He just goes out and performs every week, and it's like it's nothing to him, is it?
Foden is obviously a talent. Ever since when he came to India in the Under-17 World Cup, we all saw he was the best player there as well. So Foden, his trajectory has been, and I would appreciate Guardiola how he has managed his player. Like something which I am strongly critical of Arteta's handling of Bukayo Saka, because he plays him way too much for a 19-year-old, which Pep actually gave him time after Silva went away, and he was finally getting more and more chances, and I expect him to be a regular next season with much more opportunities. And definitely he's maybe probably I can see him getting to the level of Kevin De Bruyne in the future as well.
I mean, I remember discussing with you, Rohit, earlier before the start of the season, and we mentioned that this has to be that make or break season for Phil Foden.
Even I remember that we had a discussion over
it's time he stepped up.
Yes.
Because he's had a couple of seasons before, and we're thinking this is the season where, if he steps up, he'll be good. Otherwise, maybe he's just one of those overrated English players. But he has definitely, quite proved all the, every doubt wrong. And
guess what? He has replaced Sterling in the A team, and like covering up the Sterling thing, because Sterling was always favorite of Guardiola's for some reason, I don't know what. But he has taken Sterling's place on the left wing, and he is a big game player now. He is playing against like Borussia Dortmund and PSG and other Champions League, and not in the Premier League. He was being saved in the Premier League. So that is where he has come under Guardiola. That is the elite mentality.
Sterling was Guardiola's favorite because Sterling was getting him 20 goals a season. So as much people can criticize or like say things about Sterling. Sterling was one of the best players for the past 3 seasons for City.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think more than Sterling, this is my opinion, I think Foden has replaced Sane. I think that's the kind of player that they wanted. I think Sterling sometimes is too predictable. He gets goals, but he's very predictable. Whereas you needed someone like Sane who has an X factor where he can go direct and where he can also pass. And I think that's what Foden has provided. That's probably what they missed last season, not having Sane in the defense.
Foden is a direct player. I mean, he can carry the ball, he can take the ball with him forward, which usually City players always struggle with, because they have a good passer, they have a good finisher, but not a ball carrier, which Foden is. He has a good ball control, so he can just dribble out the defenders and carry the ball forward, which is something we were missing for a long time, apart from David Silva.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what Foden brings. Nishikant, I think this is interesting. This is something that is sort of we're talking about City A team and City B team. For a long time, you said City don't really have a B team. They have an A team, they have an A plus and an A team. I think this season, as Adarsh pointed out, we're seeing a City B team. Is that some sort of concern? Because clearly, the B team is not as good as the A team when you have Jesus and Sterling in that one. Is that a small point of concern maybe for next season, that they have now a clear distinction between the best players and probably not so good players?
I think that's the normal way of how things should be. Right? If you think about the competition between the teams in a league, the fact that City now have a very good team and then a good team means that at least other people have a chance. So and it's better for competition as well. But they did lose, a couple of games when they played the so-called second string players. But, I wouldn't really say that they are not good enough players, or they're bad players. I think they're good. They're lost for sure. But, I think maybe, obviously, City are going to buy someone in this summer market. I'm sure they'll be spending again on. They need a striker for sure. They may not buy a striker. I wouldn't be surprised because Guardiola was the manager in the modern era who introduced that strikerless system with false nine. So he's pretty comfortable making his team play so long as he has the players who could play that kind of role. But I think City's B team is still a lot better than many A teams, for many clubs first time. So that shouldn't be too much of a concern. I mean, they'll probably only get to play in some cup games like the League Cups and FA Cups and maybe a Premier League game here, a game there against a weaker team. And I would expect them to win those games with the second string team that they have. If they don't, if we see next season as well that that second team just simply can't do enough, that will be a concern then. Right now, I think we'll be jumping the gun if we say that.
Well, I'm only going off of what City players keep talking about Sterling and Jesus and all the abuse that those two, whatever banter that they get. So, but I guess my follow-up question that Nishikant, you said they'll be spending money is, well, there's two follow-up questions. One, how many injuries is it going to take to stop City next season? Because that's the only thing that seems to stop teams these days. And secondly, how much money? Two? How many injuries do you think? Two injuries. Okay.
Ruben Diaz and John Stone.
Okay. Johnston's getting wow. That's great. So we say two injuries. I think it's going to take four because I think you also have to take off Phil Foden and De Bruyne. So I think it's going to take four. That's my over under.
The reason why, I get that point. Obviously, Gundo and Foden, these are attacking players, so they take all the plaudits. That's the general situation in world football. But the reason City have won this title is because they were finally able to sort their defense out. With Ruben Diaz, remarkable defender, great signing for City. And John Stones coming back to form. I don't know what happened with him before, but these two, that partnership that they developed this season, Ruben Diaz and John Stones, and also some small changes like moving Cancelo in the midfield. These things, really help. Rodri, a very solid defensive midfielder. But their title win, this title triumph is based on a solid defense, a very solid defense. They were shaky at the start of the season. They conceded 5 against Leicester. They lost games they shouldn't have lost. And then all of a sudden, Guardiola made changes.
This guy comes in and last season never gets dropped off.
Sorry, who?
I mean, all of a sudden, this guy comes in and never get dropped off until he is actually resting him.
So these two, the defensive solidarity that Guardiola managed to, build again, because last season I felt that they were trying to force things a bit too much, trying too much pressing and then getting caught on counter attack. Even this season, there were games they had possession, they were trying to press too much, and then suddenly they get caught in break. So that's something which Guardiola has managed to address this season, in the later part of the season at least. And that's why they're able to win the Premier League. So if next season Ruben Diaz gets injured or gets out of form, and the same happens with John Stone, I think they'll start struggling. They have really good backups in Nathan Ake and Emerick Laporte, but while they may be really good defenders, I think these two players are the one that Guardiola spent so much money on defense, right? And none of it was working. The players were simply not, either they were not suitable to his system or, it didn't click or whatever. It clicked now with these two players. And if they don't perform next season for one reason or other, the other two might struggle. Despite being very good defenders, I think Nathan Ake is a fantastic defender. I've seen him for a very long time. But, that connection with the system, what Diaz and John Stones have, is the key for winning the title. So they'll be key again.
for me, that's the difference between Liverpool and City here. I mean, last season, Liverpool were good because of Van Dijk. He is a solid defender for them. But it was all about Van Dijk, right? It was a good partnership with Van Dijk and Alisson. It was never a talkative thing about Joe Gomez and Van Dijk. But this is a partnership of two defenders who you see celebrate blocks, who you see celebrating, defending, interceptions. They are cherishing, they are loving playing with each other. This was never seen with Joe Gomez and Van Dijk. It was just one-man wall, and this is two-man wall. So this is where things go right for City. Even if one guy is playing
interceptions. You know what Adarsh mentioned.
Once the ball goes out of play, then they set up.
You know, once Guardiola famously said that he doesn't train tactics. You know, he doesn't train his player to make tactics. I think 2016, 17, somewhere around, like a couple of years back. And against PSG, he was celebrating a block from Zinchenko on Neymar. So,
I mean,
to
that
be
is
fair,
called being
Neymar,
desperate for Champions League, I would say. That is called being desperate for Champions League.
That's a lot of things. Abhijit, I have a...
Yeah, go on.
So you wanted to say something, yeah?
I don't think either of them, either Ruben Diaz or Johnstone, getting injured is going to affect them much, because from what I have seen, it's been the collective City defensive. It's the system. It's the defensive system has improved. It's just not those two players. The two guys in front of them also contribute a lot.
Yeah.
And also Kyle Walker is a very good defender, and he tracks back very soon. And also Zinchenko has been, I think, after Luke, I would say he has been the best I have seen in the left back position. But I still believe City will get someone new as well, because I don't think he's going to keep Mendy anymore. Mendy is going to be sold.
Yeah. So that's a good segue into my question, which is what is the over-under on how much City are going to spend in the summer for next season? Is it 100? Is it 80? When we're talking £1 million here, obviously.
Obviously, I expect City to spend again. Yeah, because a left back. So I'm pretty sure Pep is going to get a left back. Whether they get Nuno Mendes or not, I'm not sure, but they're pretty sure going to get him. Another, I think, since Aguero is leaving, he's definitely going to get a striker. Because maybe he can play the false nine since he invented it, basically. But in some games, you need a striker to finish the game off or get you the clutch goals like Cavani does. But considering his system and they have been previously linked to him as well, I can see totally City going for Darwin Núñez.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek banter thing, but it's interesting because I think Pep in his time, I think he's had 3 different strikers that I can think of. He's strikers. In Barcelona, he had Zlatan, who he fell out with. But he fell out with Eto'o as well. David Villa he had, but he played him as a left winger. And then he had Robert Lewandowski, of course, at Bayern, who was simply sensational. And he actually fell out with Mandzukic as well because he got Lewandowski. So, I mean, I don't know.
Henry played under Guardiola.
I'm sorry? Who?
Thierry Henry. He played under Guardiola.
Oh, he played on left wing. He played as a left winger as well. Yeah, he played on the left wing as well because Eto'o played as a striker. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Guardiola, right? His system doesn't need a traditional striker. Whenever he has, he's had a traditional striker like a Zlatan or a Henry, they would play on the wings because Messi used to be the guy
in the middle,
who would be the false nine.
Yeah, I guess the system doesn't.
What he has done this season, strikerless. Yeah.
Winning
without a striker
this season, Aguero is a very good example of it. I mean, whoever thought like Aguero would be on the bench for the whole season? The City legend, basically, he's a goal scorer. He still finishes good goal, and he was on the bench. Okay, we're not talking about that penalty thing, but yes, he still scores good goals. But it's a thing of Guardiola. He fancies false nine, and he is ready to play Sterling as false nine, but not Aguero on his regular day. So that's a thing which he fancies.
I think we shouldn't be surprised if you see Foden as false nines next season.
Could be. He has played Foden as a false nine as well.
Although I think his finishing is still a bit lacks.
It's not that
temperament in front of him. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the current false nine is Bernardo Silva, so it's not.
But if Sterling comes back to form next season, then I think they don't really need to look for a striker because that guy gives you 20, 25, 30 goals.
But that guy is not a helpful talent in front of goals. I mean, he is good in tap-ins and all, but when it comes to finishing, he takes like 5 chances to score 1 chance. So that's a wastage of chances, and we don't make such, like, I mean, this many chances in front of teams who park the bus. For example, Tottenham under Jose Mourinho, they were parking bus. We were not able to create so many chances. We need a clinical finisher there, just like Cavani. So that's where we struggle. That's where Sterling also struggles.
There is a strike on the market who will be available in the summer. Starts with E, ends with the G. Maybe he might be available. Erling Braut Haaland, somebody who might be available. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Adarsh, I think we'll just run it off now. I think two people. I just want your thoughts. What do you want to say? Let's start with Ruben Dias. Your thoughts on the player.
I mean, he has been an exceptional addition to the club. Everybody knows it. Everybody is seeing him to be a game changer for us, a basic leader, what we were looking for, who can guide the players from the back, who can have a direct communication with the goalkeeper, with the line, with the ball, everything. So that's what we were missing after Company, and that's what he has filled the void for. And I mean, keeping Laporte on the bench, or you can say Stones keeping Laporte on the bench, either ways. But Laporte was the best defender of ours until last season, and he is on the bench because of both of them, or even for this case.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see him as a future captain for Manchester City in near future, maybe after De Bruyne's or Sterling's not being a part of City, or even Aguero's departure. I can see him as future captain.
Yeah. How does Fernandinho get away with not getting bookings? Is there something going on? I'm just kidding.
That's what he is famous for. That's what he does best, the technical fouls. I mean, I'm just a fan of this guy because of how he stops the play. He was just pocketing Neymar, fouling him again and again without tackles on that night, which was quite amazing. And he knew that he doesn't have the speed to catch up. Yeah, he knew he doesn't have the speed to catch up with the players, Mbappe or even Di Maria or even Neymar for that sake. But he was there every time, stopping the interceptions, asking. I remember that incident when he was asking Zinchenko to just don't lose his head, stay calm on the pitch, and you have to just maintain the whole concentration throughout the game. I mean, that's what leader does. That's what experience brings to the Champions League. That on this stage, the reason he is getting another contract extension as well. It's on the table as well.
Yeah. Finally, word on Pep Guardiola, I guess, the man at the moment at Manchester City.
I mean, he has done what we have been asking, what others have been expecting him to do, get on the final and win the Champions League as well. So he has got a very good record in the finals. He has never lost a final, apart from one final, I guess. I don't remember exactly what final was it.
No, he hasn't lost.
Maybe not. Yeah,
maybe
he never lost a final.
He hasn't lost one final.
German
he has
Cup?
lost one final.
German Cup? I think something
a cup final it was.
Okay. I thought a Champions League final.
Yeah, no, not the important one.
He never,
the small
a big level. Yeah. So he never bottled up a big final, a final which mattered the most for him. And hopefully he's not going to bottle this one, and he's going to prove all the people's like what he has been looking for past 10 years, what he has been looking at City, and what City fans are being waiting for such a long time. At last, I hope he is going to deliver us the title as well with the beast team he has created at the moment with us.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 13 years.
Can I ask?
Sorry,
just if Guardiola doesn't win Champions League, would you say he achieved his targets this season, or would you consider it below par? Because
I mean,
the reason I'm asking this. Yeah, the reason I ask this is because with the money backing that he gets from the City board, the players that you have, and the fact that everyone has relatively underperformed this season, Premier League was kind of a given, right, for Manchester City. And that's a title you guys have won like 4 times in 5 years. So Champions League is something that you guys desperately pray for, you guys desperately want, and that's hasn't happened yet so far. If it doesn't happen this season, which is your best chance to be on another final, obviously it's your best chance, would it be a failure?
I wouldn't call it a total failure, but a failure to extent, yes, because he has been with City for like 4 years, 5 years now, and the biggest demand what the board was expecting from him was and is Champions League, and he is in the final now. And Apart from that, I do also blame the players for it. Not actually a blame, but they were lacking a mentality of a big tournament because they haven't played a bigger tournament. I mean, they haven't played a semi-finals for like 3 times even. It was the second semi-final. They don't know how to keep up the concentration. They don't have a leader who has won the Champions League final or even more trophies like any other player. So that is what they were lacking. That is what Pep was not able to bring on the table as well because no trophies again. But once I feel even if they do not win this final, I guess the hunger would be more because coming so close and not winning is just more and more dangerous. Just like PSG last season, they were in the finals, and this season they were in the semi-finals. Before last season, PSG were not a serious contender, right? We all know that. But after last season, they improved. They were in the semi-finals, and maybe they'll be in the finals next season as well. So that's the taste of Champions League, which brings out the hunger, and this is what we are looking forward to.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting final. We'll be back with a preview for that at some point in the future. So we'll get a little bit more tactical and analytical on that show. But I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? City fans have been waiting for 13 years since the club was formed to finally be in a Champions League final. No, I'm kidding. I know City have been formed longer than 13 years, but yeah. It's anyway. Congratulations to Manchester City and all of their fans, including others, for winning the Premier League title and achieving phase 2 of what could be a treble, not the treble, but a treble. And I'm not going to go into the real treble and stuff, but it is a treble that could happen, could potentially happen by the end of this month. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you so much, Adarsh. Thank you so much, Nishikant, and thank you so much, Abhijit, for joining me today for this episode. And thank you everyone for watching. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this show, and we'll be back again once again with a lot of more content this month because the seasons are coming to an end. There's still a few more leagues to be decided. I mean, La Liga is still having quite a nice little interesting title race, so we'll see how that one goes as well. But thank you so much for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, whatever time you're watching this, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.